There is a payment arriving for eligible Canadian families, and the deadline to make sure your file is current is closer than most people realize. The Canada Revenue Agency has confirmed updated benefit calculations for 2026, and for qualifying households, the total annual grocery benefit support could reach up to $1,890. That is not a rumor. That is a number tied to real eligibility thresholds that CRA has outlined for this benefit cycle. My name is Joseph, and welcome to Canada Pension Guide, the channel, where we break down exactly what the government is offering, what the fine print actually says, and what you need to do to make sure you don't leave money on the table. Now, before we get into the full eligibility breakdown, I want to flag something for you right now. There is a specific income threshold detail that quietly disqualifies thousands of Canadians who assume they are eligible. It has to do with how CRA calculates your adjusted net income, and it catches people off guard every single year. We are going to come back to that in just a few minutes, because understanding it could be the difference between receiving this payment and missing it entirely. So stay with me. What many recipients often overlook is that this benefit is not a standalone application in the traditional sense. Your eligibility is determined automatically based on your filed tax return. That sounds simple. But here is the part people miss if your 2024 tax return was filed late, or if there was a gap in your direct deposit information with CRA, your payment may be calculated correctly but never arrive. We are going to talk about how to check that, step by step, before we are done today. Let's talk about what this benefit actually is. The grocery benefit, formerly connected to the GST/HST credit framework, was designed to help low and modest income Canadians offset the rising cost of everyday essentials. In 2026, CRA has updated the payment structure to reflect current household size and income data. For a single individual, the base support is lower. But for families, particularly families with 2 adults and 2 or more children, the combined quarterly payments, when added together across the full year, may reach that $1,890 figure, subject to your specific income level and filing status. This is not a universal payment. It is income tested, which means your adjusted net family income from your most recently filed tax return determines your eligibility and your payment amount. CRA sets an upper income threshold, and if your household income is below that threshold, you are likely in the eligible range. The keyword there is likely. Final eligibility is always subject to CRA's review and approval. Now here is the detail I flagged at the start, the one that quietly removes people from eligibility without any warning letter. When CRA calculates your adjusted net income, they include certain amounts that many people assume are non-taxable or invisible to the calculation. Specifically, if you or your spouse receives old age security, Canada Pension Plan payments, or registered income fund withdrawals, those amounts are factored into the household income calculation. This matters because a retired couple who individually might qualify may find their combined income pushes them just above the threshold. If that is your situation, there are still options we need to talk about, including GIS interaction rules that sometimes create a secondary pathway for qualifying. For our viewers who are receiving CPP and OAS simultaneously, here is what the interaction looks like. OAS and CPP are counted as income. The Guaranteed Income Supplement, or GIS, is not counted the same way, and for those receiving GIS, there is a higher likelihood of grocery benefit eligibility because GIS itself signals a lower income level to CRA's assessment system. If you are on GIS, flag that as a green light to investigate your grocery benefit status immediately. And I want to pause here for a moment and ask you something directly. I read every comment on this channel, and I genuinely want to know your experience. Which province are you filing from? And has the rising cost of living actually changed how far your pension stretches each month? Drop your province and your honest answer in the comments below. Something like, Ontario groceries have gone up 30%, or BC managing but barely. Your answer helps this community, and it helps me make sure I am covering the right topics for the right people. So please take 10 seconds and comment right now. Now, let's make this real. Here is exactly what the payment structure looks like for 2026. A single adult with no children and income below a certain threshold may be eligible for a base quarterly payment. A couple with children, where the household income falls below the updated ceiling CRA has set, may see that cumulative total approach $1,890 across the 4 payment cycles. Payments are typically issued on CRA's quarterly GST/HST credit schedule, which means the next payment window is relevant to your immediate planning. Always verify the exact date on your My CRA account, as payment dates can shift by a day or two depending on weekends and statutory holidays. One more thing that does not get enough attention. If you moved in the last 12 months, if your marital status changed, or if a dependent joined or left your household, CRA may not have updated information. The agency works from your filed return, but major life changes can and should be reported directly through My Service Canada or through CRA My Account. Failing to update this information is one of the most common reasons a payment is delayed or recalculated downward. Let's talk about your 3 action steps right now, because this is where most people either secure their payment or accidentally delay it. Step 1. Log into your CRA My Account and navigate to the Benefits and Credits section. Confirm that your GST/HST credit file shows active status and that your most recent payment amounts are reflected there. If the account shows no scheduled payment, that is your signal to investigate further. Step 2. Review your most recent T4A slip. If you received CPP, OAS, or any registered income, this is where CRA pulls the data used to calculate your adjusted net income. Make sure the number on that slip matches what you filed. Discrepancies, even small ones, can delay processing. Step 3. Confirm your direct deposit details inside CRA My Account. It sounds basic, but every payment cycle, thousands of Canadians have the right eligibility and the correct amount calculated, and the money goes to a closed bank account or an outdated address. Update your banking information now, before the next payment date, not after. That is how you protect your payment before it is ever at risk. Here is what I want you to take away from today. The Canadian benefit system is genuinely complex. CRA does not always make it easy to understand what you qualify for, how it is calculated, or what could quietly reduce your amount. That complexity is not your fault. But it is your responsibility to stay informed, and that is exactly why this channel exists. You are not alone in trying to figure this out. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians are navigating the same system, the same forms, and the same questions. And you showed up today, which already puts you ahead of most people. If this video gave you clarity, I want to ask you to do one thing. Subscribe to Canada Pension Guide. Every week, we bring you verified, plain language breakdowns of exactly what CRA and Service Canada are offering. No jargon, no fear, just the information you need to make confident decisions about your retirement and your benefits. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the bell is on so you never miss an update that could affect your payments. This is Joseph from Canada Pension Guide. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.